just, go back to the original question. Was the hardest part of working with me? It was the original question. But that's a very, very good point what you just said. Yeah.
It's not just a career, it's our lifestyle.
Yeah.
And working in property and having our business together.
And also, I do most of the driving, obviously, for my safety and security reasons as well. Yes, what's happening, people? It's another episode of the Rags to Riches podcast. I'm here with my co-host, the lovely Ellen Batchelor, and today we have quite a few things to talk about. So Ellen, why don't you lead the way?
So today, do you think we should talk about our experience of working together in a business as a couple and what the kind of hurdles come, with that territory?
Yeah, very sticky topic, sticky icky. But yeah, that's fine. I mean, why don't you start and you obviously give your experience of working with me, living with me, driving up and down the country with me. We literally do everything together, don't we?
I mean, we do, yeah. We literally do everything together.
Other than going to the toilet.
Yeah, I think that's one. It's probably better we leave that one out, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's better if I don't know what you're doing there and you don't know what I'm doing there. But yeah, so yeah, lead the way. Go for it, Ellen.
Well, I want to know from you what you think the hardest part of us working together is.
The hardest part? Absolutely nothing.
Versus the best
Everything is amazing. The hardest part of us working together? That's a very good one. You actually have got me puzzled for a minute. I'm a very sort of dominant person, and you're not exactly a submissive kind of person, kind of thing. So I guess working together with you is if somebody comes in, they're not sure who's the boss, because you will say X and I'll say Y sometimes, and it's which one to do, and it's just so I guess probably that sometimes.
It's so where we've got a difference of opinion and we're both wanting to voice it, we both have an opinion and we're
yeah, and obviously
both putting it forward.
Despite the fact I'm the strongest one, maybe the better looking one, but obviously when it comes to sometimes I just rather just let you have the final say, because if I do have the final say sometimes it's just not worth it. I probably have an A infection next day, so just let's just let her have a final say. So I think that's probably in my opinion. What's the hardest thing in your opinion of us working together?
I mean, I like the fact that we all of our parts of our life sort of blend and overlap. I do love that we can be talking about business and our wedding and we can have fun and mix it. We have a lot of friends who work in the same industry, so I like the mixing, because it's not just a career, it's our lifestyle.
Yeah.
And working in property and having our business together. But I guess because it is all so blended, we can't separate out, so we don't necessarily always. It's I guess for me, something I need to work on time management anyway. I'm sure as you remind me frequently.
Yeah.
So if I need to work on time management, it's about maybe just being a little bit more structured in when we're gonna have our we're gonna have personal conversations or play, and separating that with leisure, and then separating leisure with work. So I think because obviously we spend time with our families together, we share friendship circles. Obviously we love spending time with Jaden. We both have fitness things and sports and things that we want to do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of juggling all of them, making it all logistically work, and then structuring it in the day so that we can kind of be most effective. Because I think how I would describe it is we wear many different hats. And sometimes we try, it's hard not to wear multiple hats at the same time, or to know when to take one hat off and put another on, if that makes sense. I don't know if I've explained that very well.
But just, go back to the original question. Was the hardest part of working with me? It was the original question. But that's a very, very good point what you just said. Yep.
I think it's probably that, as you mentioned before, all your flaws show up in your business.
Yeah.
So I let those, flaws that I have show up in our business, and then ultimately, because our business is us and we're in a relationship, it then in turn affects our relationship.
Yeah. So in a short version, what's the hardest part of working with me?
And actually, you probably reminded me what it is that you always try and back me into a corner and ask me a question with like a yes or no answer.
Yeah. I mean, when you say
that's
back
probably
you in
the
the corner,
most annoying thing that you do.
When you say back you in the corner, you just mean that's one direct answer.
But you try and close me when it's a discussion.
It's not closing. It's a conversation. You know, how can I know? Do you know what I mean? If I'm asking a question, yeah, that's fine to say all of the reason why, but the most important thing is to always say, just answer the question. Like, it's like me asking you, how was the day? And you're like, well, last week and last month, and it's like, yeah, that's very, very cool. But how was your day?
But it's about giving things context, my love. Especially if you ask me how my day is, I may want to give you the story and the whole narrative and my whole to fully convey my whole feeling behind it.
Yeah.
So I think I get why you want to go for a specific yes or no answer.
Yeah.
But that's never going to happen. So
do you reckon that's how I am? Do you reckon I normally give direct answers?
Yeah. Do you reckon you do that even when I need more context and more explanation and more?
Yeah, but do you see our difference? So, like for me, I like to give.
I feel like we're doing a live
answers.
Demonstration of what we don't like about working with each other.
Yeah, well, but people like people who are like them. But
true.
It's almost impossible to obviously have two partners who are exactly the same.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't work, would it? I mean, if you look at powerful couple people like. Samuel and Amanda, for example. Samuel and Amanda are amazing, but they're very, very different.
They're yin and yang, because he's really high energy, and then she's so calming and so easygoing.
Samuel's a very, I'm very similar to Samuel. When he speaks to you, wants a direct answer. Amanda's a bit like you, but you look at them together, they're a power couple. They work together in business. They go very, healthy marriage. You got people like, Anna and Russell, like almost all our successful friends that we know. They're not very identical, are they?
Yeah, Anna and Russell have differences as well, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think what they do, and maybe this is what we need to work on, is even if they don't understand the difference someone has, because they don't hold it themselves, they're not that way.
Yeah.
They're still very accepting of it in the other person. So, they just accept that person. They don't really understand why they do that behavior, but that's how they are.
Yeah, I accept why you don't give direct answers. It's just, I just hope you give me direct answers and don't give everybody else, long answers. What do you reckon about that?
I feel like you should just accept that's how I am and then just not even require it of me.
Yeah, I hear that.
And vice versa.
I hear that.
You won't give me an information-rich answer. You'll give me a one-worded answer.
I mean, I do give you informational-rich answers if you require that from me. But I wouldn't just voluntarily give you informational-rich
Even
answer.
if I require it, sometimes you don't. And no, you don't.
Yeah, I just feel straight direct to the point. It's just,
But sometimes I need to know, you'll just say, okay, we're going to Birmingham, but you won't tell me why, so I won't know if I need to prepare anything, if I need to, be prepared to film content.
Yeah.
I won't know, and it's fine, to go to Birmingham, I'm down, we can go wherever, I'll follow you anywhere, baby.
Yeah.
But I just, or knowing, sometimes you're if I know why an arrangement is, especially because this is a key thing for you to bear in mind, is as in a line with working in my time management, I want to work on being organised and be really ultra organised, because you admit that's your weak point. So I really need to compensate and be ultra organised to compensate for you not being organised. And what would really help me being organised is you giving me as much information as possible about our logistics, about our plans, about why we're doing things on this day and then and so forth, just so then I can plan accordingly.
Yeah. You have a very valid reason, and sometimes it is important to give loads of information. I do agree with that. I've never disagreed with that.
And can you agree that a podcast is a good time to give extra information, because we're literally doing a podcast to give information?
Yeah, I get that. But can you agree that it's not always a good idea to always give more information than required? Can you agree with that?
Well, can you agree that I do have compromised on it a little bit? In the car, I stay much more silent now. I used to talk to you the whole car journey, and
that's
now
because the music is on.
He puts the music so loud, so I won't talk. And then
and you still turn down the music sometimes so you can talk. And I was like, that's fine. I pause the music and I always ask you, is there anything else? And then I was like, play.
Luckily, you've been playing some good Afro beats lately.
Listen, man, to be with somebody, how long have we been together?
5 years now.
So to be for 5 years, I have to have my tricks that can make it last, that can make me, do you know what I mean? Otherwise, it'll be very, very tough. Do you know what I mean? So I need to have the things that I need to do in order to, do you know what I mean? To always, because we're very, happy with each other. Well, I'm very, very happy.
I am, of course.
I don't know about you, but you know, for me to keep that happiness, there has to be things I have to do. And one of the things when we're in a car, you know, when we're talking, that's fine. I'll turn the music down, but you know, when there's not that much important things to talk about, play the music, so we just save our energy.
That's fine. I have no qualms with that. I like your taste in music. That's one thing that luckily we have in common is we have the same taste in music.
Yeah.
So that solves that problem. We're not fighting about what music to play. We don't ever have that fight.
Yeah.
So that's one benefit.
And audiobooks. You like the same audiobooks as me?
Yeah, we love. Yeah, so that's banging. So at least we're winning on that one.
Yeah.
And you're so right in what you said about you're not going to have everything in common with somebody. Yeah. And I feel that probably the hardest thing working with you is that we don't have like the day-to-day things in common. Like our personality traits aren't the same.
Yeah.
But the reason why it still works and we're still going to get married and be together long term forever is because we share the same values.
Yeah, and I turn the music up when we're in the car.
I mean, yeah, whatever tricks keep you in a good mood, keep you patient, like I'm here for it, whatever you need to do. But yeah, we share the same values. Like we both believe, you know, we both love our business and we both love like family is so important to both of us. So a lot of our, you know, we both believe in God. So these core values, I think, are what mean that we'll be together. We'll always be able, that always keep us together.
Inshallah.
The big things, but the small things are we don't. I'm not quite sure. Maybe you guys can give us some tips.
Yeah.
Maybe in the comments, leave us some tips about how we can kind of work on those small things about the day-to-day disagreements, logistics,
small things like
organisation.
When I ask a direct question, give a direct answer. Small things like that, things like that.
About giving information-rich answers when I need to know about logistics, so I can be more organised for us and our business and our life.
Yeah.
It could be helpful if I could have a little bit more information from you. You could let me know what plans you've got coming up. Because, I have to just overhear you on the phone to know that we've got people coming, to the office for meetings, what's going on. Sometimes I just go through your phone to try and figure out what we're doing.
Yeah, and, I do tell you something sometimes. I do tell you something sometimes when it pertains to you. Like, do you know what I mean? If someone's going to come down, for example, an investor, came down the other day, willing to obviously get a deal. You're just coming to see me. It was just like cool. So I didn't have to tell you like, hey, Alan, get ready. As opposed to when we going to meet an investor, I have to tell you. But I do get your point. It's very, very valid. But do you see where it's like I'm saying at this side of the table, and I'm watching the number 6. And you're on the other side, and you're watching the same number 6, but from your angle it's a 9.
Yes, that's pretty much our whole relationship.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that I'm wrong in your 9. Exactly. It doesn't mean that you're wrong if my 6 is from different perspectives, different angles. You see different numbers.
Yeah, that's so true.
And that's what it is. And I think that's one thing that obviously we've done from day one. We obviously both, acknowledge that we are not the same people. We're not always gonna like the same things. But it's about compromising on the things that matters most. Like the thing that matters most to you, I have to find a way to obviously make it work, and vice versa. The thing that matters the most to me, you have to find a way. Like a few examples. What's one thing, for example, that really matters a lot to me, and you have to compromise on it. For example, cooking and cleaning. She doesn't want to say that, but cooking and cleaning. She's a very good cook, and when she cleans, on her day, she does a very good job. But that's not something that she obviously was brought up doing, because obviously it's a different culture. I'm from St. Lucia, and one of the things that, one of the first things that my mom gets us to do is to cook and clean. In fact, it's not like she was like, oh, come for a cooking lesson or come for a cleaning lesson. It's like it's one of them ones where, she let me come to the kitchen when she's cooking, hover around a few times. And then one day I come home and she like, I'm like, Mom, where's the food? She's like, well, the rice is here, the chicken is in the fridge, the seasoning is over there, and then there's some salt over there. And I was just like, okay, Mom, like, how do you put this together? I was like, well, I mean, it's down to you. Is it for you cook or you stay hungry? Because I'm tired. And that's kind of like how I was kind of like obliged to, to cook food. It started off with some very salty, soggy rice, and eventually it got better, and I can make very good rice and peas.
You're a very good cook.
So it was one of the things that I was obliged to do, and that's one of the benefits of obviously me being raised in the Caribbean. I mean, not having so many things like, not having a washing machine. I was obliged to wash my school clothes. I had 2 school shirts, so in a 5-day week I had to wash twice. 2-3 times. After every single day, just wash my shirt in my hand and stuff like that. So I was raised to wash because I didn't have a choice. Whereas obviously for you, it's different. But it still doesn't mean that you're incapable of doing it. It just means that, cool, hey, look, for me this is very, very important, Ellen. So you need to learn how to do it. And you learn it, and now you can obviously cook good Caribbean food, can you?
Oh, thanks, sweet.
Yeah. So, and a few things like yourself, there's a few things that you really like. Things like, massages. Should I have massages? And I was just like, massages, man, that's a bit long still. But, it's very, very important. So I had to, watch a few YouTube videos and learn how to give massages. So it's about obviously learning the important things that really, really important.
And you do, and I don't like to drive, so you do all the driving as well, which I really appreciate.
And also, I do most of the driving, obviously, for my safety and security reasons as well.
I'm not that bad a driver.
Never said that you are.
Okay, yeah, parking, I hold my hands up.
Yeah, to be fair, you've never had an accident. If we have to look at the statistics, you're probably a better driver than me. Because you've never had an accident, you've never had a parking ticket, you've never had...
I did used to get parking tickets when I was an estate agent.
Oh, you used to get parking tickets, but you never actually had an accident or scratched the car or anything like that. I've scratched the car, I've driven in the back of somebody, I've had parking tickets, I've had a speeding ticket. So on statistics...
Again, in your defence though, ratio-wise, because you've been driving for many years more than me, and you do drive more frequently, ratio-wise, probably still winning. But I like that we're having each other's back on this. We're not pointing fingers. So, but just to make it, make a note, I appreciate that you do all the driving.
Thank you very much.
Because you do drive all the time.
Means a lot to me. Next.
Okay, what's your favourite thing about us working together? Now we've got the negative out of the way.
Yeah, I mean the favorite thing about us working together is it's One thing I realized, I think I've said that to you before. Obviously, working multiple jobs, I've done probably everything under the sun to make money. Many different jobs, businesses and stuff. And I've realized most relationships and most entanglements happen at the workplace. So I've realized that, like probably all my exes or whatever, at one point we used to work together. So it's one of the things I've always said, when I find somebody and I really want to settle down and we're going to be together forever, one of the most important things I want to do is to make sure that we are working for ourselves, we're working together, so we're not in the workplace. And look, you're a very faithful person and I know nothing would happen, but it's about
prevention.
Prevention.
Prevention is better than curing.
100%. It's about prevention. It's about controlling the thing that's in your control. I think as a man, a lot of the times, things go wrong. We have got a part to play in it some way, shape or form. So I just feel like, to answer your question, you see I'm giving the long answer.
Yay!
So to answer your question about what's the best part of us working together is the part that we obviously are together all the time, and every single day I'm remarketing myself to you. Every single day you see my face, at work in the morning, and obviously because you see my face more than your boss's face, then do you know what I mean? Our love and everything is obviously hot.
Yeah, we grow closer, and like as part of that we get to. I think one thing you always write about is like having a business together. It keeps you on the same page.
Yeah. You're
building something together. You're on the same page. You're working on a project together.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're in a job, you can hardly see the other person. You see your work colleagues more than you get to see one another.
Yep.
And you can very easily become on a different page, grow apart because you're 100%. On different. You've got a different career, different goals.
100%. Different jobs. Yeah.
And it's very easy that you just kind of can just there's physical distance, and that can turn into emotional, spiritual, mental distance.
Yeah, 100%. Because a lot of people obviously they have their friends and they have their work friends, and they spend so much time with their work friends, so like their job actually becomes their home. And when there's an issue at home, rather than resolve it at home, they bring it to work and they tell their friend Betty, or they tell this one and tell that one, and then that person at work becomes the shoulder to lean on. And I was watching a video by what's his name again, Steve Harvey. Do you remember this video? It's on YouTube, very good clip. And
we love Steve Harvey.
Yeah, I love Steve Harvey. He's amazing. And they asked Steve Harvey about his female friends, and he said that he hasn't got no female friends. Like if you haven't watched this video, go watch the video on YouTube. And they were like, "What do you mean you haven't got no female friends?" He was just like, "Well, I'm a man." They were like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, listen, man. It's like him," and he said most men. I was like, most men are like that. He said that him being a man and having a female friend, he's been around women a lot of time, and he realizes, he says men don't have female friends. He says men, what they do is they have somebody that they fancy or they want or whatever the case may be, and the woman has just put them in the friend zone, and the man is like, half a love is better than no love, so he just stays in the friend zone, and just stays there hoping and waiting for the opportunity where there's an issue at home or there's a breakup where you can obviously just slip in the cracks. I don't know 100%.
Yeah, I mean it's not conscious. They're not sitting there like ticking off for days, but it's the fact that we all know men think with downstairs rather than up here. So if the opportunity was to come, like,
let me defend the men up there. All men are not like that. I've got a lot of good friends that's proper professional men. So not every single man is like that, but I get the fact that you say obviously.
But it's more
majority.
It's more just the concept, even if it specifically is like a bit of an extreme example that Steve Harvey's talking about.
Yeah.
Just being on the same page and just like reducing temptation.
100%. And I get what it is. I mean, we live in a world today of marketing. Marketing runs the world. And if you're always seeing another female in your eyes, what's happening is that female is being marketed in your eyes every single day, as opposed to your partner, and vice versa for a woman. Having a man, having seen this guy at work or more times than you see your partner, it's like he's being marketed more to you. So eventually, his stocks at work will be higher than the one at home, and that's been that's obviously been proven, and that's been something I've seen as well for a long time. So yeah, man, it's just obviously good that we're working together all the time. It's good that we keep marketing each other to each other on a regular basis. It's good to be obviously having similar goals, wants, interests, and stuff like that. So 100%, man. Yeah.
Love that, baby. And so when we do disagree, like we aren't agreeing in work when we're working together.
Yeah.
Which, as you guys have witnessed, happens frequently.
Yeah. Come on, can you imagine being with somebody that agrees with everything that you say? Like, baby, can we go to football? Yes. Baby, can I have ice cream? Can you imagine? It would be a very boring relationship, in my opinion. So I think that's one of the reasons why that we're together for so long, because we don't always agree. Do you know what I mean? We have debates on things. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
we challenge each other.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that does actually add to longevity. So long as you see it as adding to longevity, which we do, then having the fact that we challenge each other, we may force each other to grow.
100%.
Because we can't stay the same, because we're committed to the relationship, so it has to just evolve.
Yeah.
We have no choice. So when we aren't agreeing, when we aren't agreeing, it can feel like it's not working sometimes, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
So what do you do? Is there anything you say to yourself? Remind yourself? Is there any practices that you implement prior so that you're going to be able to receive like issues in the day better? Like how do you?
Yeah, I mean, you know that better than anybody. One thing I've learned is, I've learned that it's very, very difficult in life. Let me use the analogy of this, right? Imagine driving a vehicle, right? Driving a vehicle, you have a massive windscreen, right? And on the windscreen, there's like a small rearview mirror. Now, it puzzles me as to why. Why is it there's such a big windscreen and a small rearview mirror? And one day, it really hit me, and it's not a new invention, guys. I'm sure all of you know that, but it's not subconsciously instilled in your head. The main reason why is because the reason why the windscreen is bigger is because the manufacturers want you to be looking forward more times than you're looking backward. They want you to drive the car looking forward. And why am I saying this to you? It's our relationship. I think one of the biggest things about us is that even if we argue for today, for example, tomorrow or in a few minutes later, we'll be hugging, everything will be cool, because I don't hold grudges. Like, not because we argue about something to me it's like, oh, I'm not gonna go to bed, or no, man. People we are meant to argue. Like the most successful, richest, like famous people argue and break up all the time. I mean, Jeff Bezos, he's one of the wealthiest people in the world, just a few years ago, and his wife still divorced him. So I think, to answer your question about, what do I do and stuff, I just don't hold a grudge. If we disagree on something, we normally come to a compromise, and somebody obviously gets the final say or whatever. Or even if there's no one wins the argument, there's no grudge hold. I don't hold a grudge against you. I think that had, that's my mindset, and that's why it's easier. So when it's tough and it's not working, then I'll just let it simmer, and then a few minutes later, I'll be fine and you'll be fine. And sometimes there's a lot of our arguments that have even got an ending. Does it? We just leave it. We just let it just live in the air. We don't even conclude the argument. Sometimes we argue and it's just like we actually laugh while we argue. Like it's like, where exactly are we arguing again?
Yeah, why have we even gone down this road?
Yeah. So it just happens, doesn't it?
That's very true, though, and I do appreciate that about you. That's something that I really like about you, is that you recover quickly and you don't hold grudges.
Yeah, man.
You're quick to forgive.
Yeah, I don't hold grudges because the reason why is because one of the reasons why is because when I used to hold grudges, it used to hurt me more than it used to hurt the person that I have the grudge against. Because you having that thing inside, you have that negativity.
Yeah, forgiveness is so liberating and freeing and peaceful.
Yeah, of course. Listen, the way that my mind operates is just like, for me, yeah, I know that whatever someone tells me, 9 out of 10 times they actually won't do it. Like they won't do what they're gonna do. Like I get that, and because I'm watching the world through that lens, when someone actually does not do what they're gonna do, it's like it's calm and it's just like it's cool. But if you have a lens of perfection and you think everyone's perfect and oh my god, she lied to me, oh my god, he betrayed me, oh my god, he said you're gonna do that, like, then you have issues. When you just see people as, look man, that's how the world is. Very rare that you get someone who actually says do what they're gonna say, what they say they're gonna do. I guess you don't hold grudges and you just see things, from a different lens, basically. Yes. So I've got a question for you, Ellen. I've got a question for you. And it's along the mindset route. What do you think the mindset should be when working alongside your partner?
Well, I feel like that leads on perfectly from what you were just saying about not holding a grudge. And the reason why it's easier for you to do that is because you expect, like, not in a negative way, but you know that mistakes, like the other person's going to make mistakes. They're not perfect. They're human.
Yeah.
And what else were you saying around that? You were saying not just about the fact that you are quick to forgive, but why you're quick to forgive.
Yeah, I'm quick to forgive because
because people, like, basically people let you down, people make mistakes.
Yeah, of course.
People, like, will, won't always do what they say they're going to do, 100%. Or people will just let you down. So I think, and that serves you, that mindset serves you in other areas.
Yeah.
We spoke about that, and like I think you spoke about that on one of the first podcasts you did, that expect failure. Like, it's not, that doesn't mean that you don't think things are going to work out, but you just keep in mind.
Expect to win, but get prepared. Be prepared for failure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think applying that in the relationship is like, if you know your partner will make mistakes, like they will sometimes let you down, then you're not. It's almost like you haven't got like shock and necessarily.
I don't really make mistakes, do I? I'm normally very perfect, don't I?
That's up for debate, but so I think having the mindset, but the most key thing is that you view yourself as teammates, and you remember that you're always playing on the same team. So even if, like, even if I'm playing, I don't know, like left field, whatever, and I pass you the ball, strike it. Is that a thing? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm trying to like learn more about football,
yeah.
So that to have more in common, to bring us together.
Correct.
But that's one of the things that he plays in the car, so I don't talk, is like football videos. So
yeah.
I'm getting to know a little bit just from that. So like I'm not gonna, even if you like even if I don't pass the ball to you the right way, and therefore you like can't strike, and I was meant to set it up for you and I didn't, like, my intention was to pass you the ball,
yeah.
and I do want us to win, and I am like playing full out.
For the team, yeah. 100%.
So I think just knowing like we are teammates, and like you're not gonna then go and like start shouting at me on the pitch and be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'm fully committed, and I have all the right intentions.
Yeah.
What do you think you need? Like, what do you think is valuable in your mindset when you're working with a partner? How to approach it?
I think it's the same mindset that you need. I think in business, 100%, one of the most important things and mindsets to have is being creative. Because a lot of the times, everything is not black and white. Sometimes it's gold, sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's blue. And it's about being creative and finding a way that it works. Same thing as our relationship, same thing about our business. I think it's having the ability to be creative. Because if you look at the most successful business people in the world today, you look at people, look at people like Elon Musk. He's a he's a billionaire. Why is he a billionaire? Because he created things like, a Tesla, which obviously, solved a big issue of emissions and diesel and stuff like that. So it's just about solving problems. The bigger and the more problems you can solve, the more successful you can be in business. I think it's one of the most important skills to have in business. If you don't have that as a business person, it's very difficult, because you are going to encounter loads of problems. I think one of the reasons why most people actually stay in jobs, one of the reasons why 95% of the world, actually, have jobs, is because it's easier, because they haven't got to be the one who go be creative. That's what the boss does. That's what the owner of the business does. He's the creative one, and he's already doing all the thinking for you. So, in the job, all you have to do is just do what you've been told. Whereas having a business is like, whoa, it's just like, what do I do now? How do I do this? How do I do that? Then you have to be creative and find ways.
Figure a lot out for yourself.
100%. 100%. So that's kind of like what I would say. Is that helpful?
Of course, yeah.
100%. I think it's about time that we wrap up now. It's been absolutely amazing filming with this lovely gem, beautiful partner of mine. And I hope you guys, enjoy this content. I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you find some valuable golden nuggets from what we just obviously explained. And if you do so, make sure you smash the like button. Smash the like button.
And please comment your thoughts.
Yeah.
And if you've got the tips, recommendations.
Yeah.
Things you want to hear about. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys, what you guys think, and if anything more we should talk about.
100%. Leave your comments down below. Give us thoughts for our next, Racks and Riches podcast. But yeah, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, I'll be very, very surprised if you haven't. But if you haven't subscribed, and make sure you turn on the notification bell. It's a bit of a tongue twister, innit? To be notified when we have posted. Peace out, guys. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.